Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are located in Biscayne Park, Florida, looking at this gorgeous masterpiece for sale on the market as we speak. And I want to give a huge thank you to the listing agent, Zulu, with Coldwell Banker for allowing us to tour his beautiful listing and bringing it to the channel. I'll make sure to leave all of the information in the description below. Now, the first thing you may notice is that it is surrounded by nature. That's one thing that I really appreciate about this property. Now, as far as the materials are concerned, on the exterior, you're going to have the coral stone tiles as well as the stucco, and you may notice the wood ceilings. Now, there's going to be a carport right here being built at least in the next few months or so. So keep that in mind so you can take advantage of that. But as we speak, this one is on the market. Now, that's what's really cool and neat about this property is that you have some yard space in the front, and then you have a backyard retreat, which we'll get to later on in the tour. Now, as we continue, you see the coral continues in the covered front porch. Then you have this massive pivot door, 10 feet tall, as well as the glass panes. Look how beautiful this is. Great curb appeal, extremely hidden. So if it's one thing where you want some space between your neighbors and you just want some privacy, this is going to be the perfect property for you. Now, you're going to have clear story windows inside of this property. You'll really notice that as soon as we get in and look at the width of the pivot door. Love that. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue in and get you inside the foyer. Wow. Absolutely stunning. Immediately whenever you walk into the foyer, the first thing you may notice is the floating ceiling with the cove lights. Really beautiful details. So you're going to see the ceramic tile that's going to continue throughout this property. It's really remarkable, to be quite honest with you. Now I'm going to turn you around so you can see the front door from the inside. You see we have this pebble stone detail right here. Really neat. Just kind of sets the tone as soon as you walk in this masterpiece of a home. Now, before we continue to the common areas, we're going to get you inside of this powder bath. So the cool thing about this one, you have 16-foot ceilings. Then you have that clear story window bringing in that natural light. They already got the mirror inside of there. So a nice little detail with the accent lighting surrounding that. Smart toilet. I should mention that this home is fully automated and you have control 4. So I know you can certainly appreciate that. And of course, right here, you're going to have your furnace. But what I really want you to appreciate, look at that, even just down to the details right there. So the walls are micro cement, so it really gives that nice texture. And then the color palette in here is just off the charts. Okay, so now let's go ahead and continue inside of the kitchen. So I love this floor plan. It's very interactive. They've done a fantastic job of this entire layout. So whenever you walk in here, you have the 10-foot slider, so giving you that indoor-outdoor feel that a lot of folks are looking for. Now you have the floor-to-ceiling windows, and that's going to surround as well. So you see these, at least the nature being surrounded by this entire home. Okay, so let's talk about some of the detail inside of the kitchen. So you have Italian porcelain tiling. That's going to continue up the backsplash right there. Now, what's really neat about this is look at this. So you have the flat panel custom cabinet doors inside of here. Look how neat that is. Really just gives that sleek minimalist feel. You also got that pot filler right there. So before I continue, let me open up some of these cabinet doors for you so that way you can get a better grasp. Look at that. Automated lighting right there. If you want to just slide these in, you can certainly do that. Look at that. To give it more of that minimalist feel. Again, I'll leave that there. Wow, absolutely stunning. Now let's go ahead and continue down here. You have a ton of counter space and the oversized island. You notice the flat panel continues throughout here. You have the paneled refrigerator and freezer. You got your sink inside of the island. The length of this is just impeccable. Plenty of space to entertain and just have a great time with the entire family. And then of course, I'll open up some of these drawers for you so you get a better grasp of this as well. Everything is soft closing, high-end appliances. You have the Wolf range right here. This is the 5 burner. Again, we got our pot filler. Love that. So you got some shelving available right here. Very sleek, very modern. And then, of course, as many outlets as you need for your appliances. Now just look at this. Sometimes I just gotta silence myself so you can really take this in. Beautiful. Okay, so you are gonna have the Wolf microwave built in, very sleek, and it's flushed as well. Then of course your Wolf oven right down there. And then again, your paneled refrigerator in here. Okay, so I wanna just do a full pan from this angle so you can see the entire scope of this. We'll head over there to the left in just a moment. Now you see the micro cement walls continues. You have the floating ceiling again, and then look at that. The clear story windows surrounds the entire perimeter, bringing in natural light from all angles that you can work with. Now you have your Sub-Zero wine fridge, holds up to 120 bottles. Then you have some additional storage right here. So you just push on that cabinet door right there, and there you go. And then also I should mention that this is frameless. So you see there's no frame, so very sleek. The hinges attaches to inside the cabinet itself. So that's gonna be more of like the cabinet storage or for your pantry items, maybe your canned goods or anything like that. Now look at this. You have your open concept dining area. The 16-foot ceilings extends inside of here. Again, the 10-foot sliders. So you open that from both angles and you can take advantage of the outdoor living. Then you have some additional custom millwork that continues over here. You have a designated dry bar straight ahead right there. So nice little touch. And then again, the floor to ceiling windows. So really just overall, a great layout itself. This is where most folks are gonna spend, 70 to 80% of their time, especially the guests. So when you think about it from an entertaining standpoint, this is perfect. With a large layout like this, coupled with the high ceilings, bravo, bravo. Okay, so continuing this way, this is actually what they call or refer to as the nanny quarters. So we'll see that in just a second. Right here to the left, you're gonna have your quick access door to a side porch that you can use pretty often. Then you're gonna have your utility room. Look at this. I'm gonna pan you upwards. Look at that. Again, an additional clear story window, the flat panel cabinetry inside. You have the counter right above our washer and dryers. You see that it's brand spanking new. You got your sink inside of here, and then some additional cabinetry right here. So the ceramic tile is going to extend in here. So I'm just loving the color palette in here, the neutral colors, the minimalist feel. Wonderful. Now, this is your first bedroom here. 16-foot ceilings, clear story windows, right? You have that additional window right above that. Just for reference purposes, when we first entered, or at least started the tour, you remember it had the coral on the exterior. That's gonna be where this room is. So you're gonna have your private ensuite. Got a nice size walk-in closet. Go ahead and add the wooden racks in here down the road, or chrome racks, depending on your personal preference. And then look at that. The ceiling height even continues inside of our ensuite family. Wow. Glass enclosed walk-in shower. You got your waterfall shower head, sleek drain right down there, beautiful vanity, and then the LED lighting right behind our mirror. All right, so family, let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about this particular plan. Is this something you could see yourself living in? I love to hear your thoughts. Really means a lot to me. Okay, so we saw this wing of the house. Now let's go ahead and make our way over here. Now you may be able to see it a little bit if you see through those windows, but that's gonna be our primary suite right over there across. We'll get to that towards the end, but let's go ahead and make sure we see every bedroom first and foremost. So this is gonna be decorated as a study, which of course you can utilize this as a study if you wanted to or chose to, but this is gonna be an additional bedroom. You got the raised ceilings in here, you have sliders, ceramic tile, and then again, that quick access door right here to your covered front porch. So you have the beautiful sleek vents in here, walk-in closet straight ahead, the private full bathroom or private ensuite. So in here, we already have our built-in shelving in our drawers. I love that. Soft closing again, ceramic tile continuing in here. Plenty of space available. And look at this. Beautiful. They've just done a fantastic job. You see they've taken some foreign elements and incorporated those inside of a modern home right here in Florida. So some of these details inside of here may be foreign to you. You might be wondering why opt for certain finishes and certain plans. But a lot of these elements are going to come from, the European aspects. Okay. Now, the one thing I love about this hallway is, of course, these oversized picture windows, right? Just get a load of that backyard. Can you imagine waking up to this every single day? Like I said, extremely private, automation, love that. Okay. So now look at the size of this. It's good that we have your nice bedroom set in here just to kind of get a good grasp of the dimensions inside of here. You have the sliders, clear story windows again, floating ceiling detail. That's a queen size bed, your 2 nightstands. Comfortably, a king will fit in here without any issue whatsoever. Of course, if you wanted to add that dresser right here, you can do that. And then your built-in shelving that we see. And it's so interesting because I've spent some time in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I was telling Zulu, the listing agent, how the walls in here are really common out there in New Mexico. And, we were chatting about that, so I knew that this was extremely familiar, and they love that over there. So any folks that are watching from New Mexico or maybe even Arizona can certainly appreciate that. Okay, so don't worry, I didn't miss this one right here. This is, of course, gonna be your furnace right here. So I already knew the comments were coming, so wanted to make sure you saw inside of there. And then even look at that nice oversized picture window. So windows from all angles, which of course was intentional. All right, so very similar size as the one we just had seen. King bedroom set would fit in here without any issues whatsoever. Love the space, the raised ceilings, the floating ceiling detail again. You have your built-ins right here. Look at this. So depending on what you choose to use the Nanny quarters for, you might be wondering why there was no built-ins at that time. So maybe you wanted to use that as your own private office, right? You can do that, or a children's retreat. The possibilities are certainly endless. Okay, beautiful custom cabinetry right here. And then you got the quartz counters, a nice sleek mirror. And then I always love how we talked about that oversized shower niche. And then again, that sleek drain right there and waterfall shower head. Beautiful. So in combination with the black outlet covers, the black hardware as far as the knobs are concerned, and then even just with the color combinations, great job. Okay, so there's gonna be a quick access door right over here to the right, right? And this is gonna be a full bathroom, so you can use this as a pool bath where you hop out of the pool, and that is a saltwater pool. You could just, access in here, dry off, rinse off, and you are good to go. So very similar in nature. And I always like to open up some of these shower doors just so we can just get a better feel of the shower surround and just some of the hardware inside of there. So to the right is our primary suite. Got an additional storage closet here. And look at this. So every single bedroom had access to the front yard that we've seen on this wall. Got that nice oversized window again, plenty of room, plenty of space. And then you already have the outlets right above so you can hang that television, let's say nice 75-inch TV, right? It's funny because a lot of times that 32-inch TV used to do the job, but nowadays, I don't think folks are buying anything less than a 50. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments below if I am. All right, so every single ensuite has been uniform. There's continuity, just to give it that sleek feel as you're walking in every single bedroom. All right, so you'll come out here, and then of course, the grand reveal of our primary suite. So you have this door right here. You'll close that off, have your little sanctuary. Before we continue, you have an additional storage closet right here. I imagine that most of your luggage is gonna go in there, things that you don't need until you go on vacation. But look at that. Wow, beautiful. This just sets the tone, really gives it that luxurious feel. And look at that, nice tall window overlooking your backyard retreat. You see our sliders again, and look at the space in here. Wow, custom millwork. Again, you got this nice floating mantle right here. That's gonna wrap around this entire wall right here. I love that. That's a king size bed, your 2 nightstands, plenty of space, plenty of room, and I'm all for it. Just an overall outstanding job, curated materials, interior designer did a fantastic job. Wow. All right, so now you come in over here to your primary suite or your primary bath. Look at that. Beautiful, sleek, minimal, all the above. Now, you got your wet room right over there. That's gonna be the 0 threshold that you can take advantage of. You are gonna have a his and hers closet in here, which I know you can appreciate, and it's spacious. So we'll see that in just a second. It's right behind me. Again, the micro cement continues this way. You got your water closet with your smart toilet right there. But let's get you inside of here. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. You got your freestanding tub, sleek drain right there, rain shower head right above that, and it's dual. Love that. You can't get much better than this, I'm telling you. Shower niche right over there, plenty of space. Look at this. This is a room in itself. We close that off, and look at this. So if you and your partner are taking a shower together, y'all maybe having some great conversations, but the good thing is you got your own shower niches, your own shower wand, your own shower head. Really, I don't think you can get much better than that, family. I really don't. Okay, so now you see our his and hers closets. So this will be the his right here. You see the LED strips illuminating this entire closet itself. You got your soft closing drawers. You got your racks already built in, and that is going to continue, of course, on this side. Ceramic tile flooring again, so that's been throughout this entire house. And I know it just really stands out. Now here is the hers closet. So plenty of space available, built-in drawers on both sides, some additional storage right above that. And then of course you can always add the rack down the road if you needed to, but depending if you choose to just store additional items that maybe don't need that, that certainly is possible. All right, family. If you haven't let me know in the comments yet, I encourage you to do so. Let me know what you think. Just give me some feedback, because I always take a look at that, and it really just sets the tone for the next property tours and helps me bring better homes for you, or to you rather. Now the 16-foot ceilings, that's going to continue down that hallway right over there. But let's get you outside here. So you see, you can open up this entire sliders right there, right? You can continue to open those up. Look at your outdoor living. You already got your built-in grill. And I always say this all the time, family. And I'm gonna, I usually preface this, but since this is a house for sale, it's not a model home where it's not for sale or it needs a lease back. You can move in as soon as you close, one. But number two is, what you see is what you get. So everything you see out here, this can be yours for the price tag. And I always leave the price in the title and the description, because sometimes prices change and I don't want it to be, let's say, obsolete, a month from now or 2 months from now. So always check the description. But look at this. Beautiful, stunning. You have the turf out here. You already got your chairs out here. You can tan, have a good time. You can see the privacy windows right there. Look at that. So it has a nice little tent there. So increased privacy. Again, the wood ceilings continues out here. You have dual ceiling fans, plenty of space giving you that airy feel. And then an additional sink, plenty of space. So not only did you have a ton of space in the front yard, but you have space in the backyard as well. And other than that, family, that was another beautiful property tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful property tour right here in Biscayne Park, Florida. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this particular home. Is this something you could see yourself living in? Would you make any changes? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour.